back to the Flannel Channel, and you know that I know some of the coolest people that have some of the coolest trucks. I love coming to truck shows like this. Come with me. I want to show you a really cool truck. I want to introduce you to the driver, and so it's going to be a good episode. Stick around. Here we go. So I'm hanging out with Luke Schaffer here. Luke, man, it is awesome to meet you. It's so cool to get to know your truck a little bit. So I'm going to turn it over to you. You can just show us your truck a little bit and tell us a little bit about it, what you've done.
Sounds good. Yeah. This is a 93 Peterbilt 379. I bought it about a year ago. It was a day cab, and I used to own an 03 Peterbilt, and I just love trucking. Ever since I was about 7.
Awesome.
Sitting in my old man's cab over. Actually, it was my grandpa's cab over. Just sitting them there, pretend I was driving, and that's kind of pretty much when I fell in love with trucks. So,
yeah.
I bought my first truck back in 2012.
Okay.
This is a 90 L model, Kenworth. Got on with a company out of Iron Horse Express, Peterbilt, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. Got my name here.
Right. Okay. Right on.
So,
yeah.
And I'm great people to work for. So that's when I first started my owner-operator, and I just kind of fell in love with trucking after that. But I used to work for Island & Sons.
Okay.
Did a lot of years there, and
so end dump. That was kind of your gig.
Yep.
Okay.
Did a lot of end dump, tanker. Oh, I miss pulling tanker. I just love tanker stuff. But
awesome.
Yeah, so I decided to kind of do my own thing for a while, and I bought that L model and had that for a couple years. And then I bought an 03 Peterbilt with a 70-inch stand-up, 303-inch wheelbase, black, really nice. And I kind of customized that one. Redid the dash, did the floor, different fenders, different visors. Went with clear lights, then switched all over to glass, ambers.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I just kind of got burnt out over the road, and was just going to park it. Ended up selling it, and then I did sell it, and I regret it ever since. I wish I would have kept that truck, and ended up finding this one, and it was a day cab, same factory wheelbase. It's 260 wheelbase. It's got a cat. 4 1/4.
Okay.
It's got a 10-speed in it, and I got it real cheap. I mean, a good buy.
Awesome.
And I just wanted to play around with because I miss the trucking. So I still drive truck. I work for an excavating company, so I still run end dump.
Okay.
And I also pump septics. It's not the fun job, but
hey,
you know, it pays the bills.
Yeah, it's got to get done.
And so I bought this just to kind of play around with, and I bought it about a year ago. And
gotcha.
If you guys want to follow me on the old Instagram, Looking Back Express.
There you go.
I got it pretty much everything I've ever done on it. It's posted on there.
Perfect. So if you want to see the build, go to Lukenbach Express.
Yep.
On Instagram.
Yep.
Okay.
Lukenbach_Express.
Perfect. Okay, I'll put that on the screen so everybody can see that.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
And so I basically, it was a day cab. I got a Unibelt ring, and I found this bunk local. It's a 359 bunk.
Awesome.
And I put the bunk on it, and I air ride the cab.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a fuel tank on it, so I put a fuel tank, and it mismatched battery boxes and mismatched air tanks. So I spent a lot of money on stainless boxes, brand new aluminum air tanks, new exhausts on it. Had the old school 45s. I kind of wanted to go that route, but I ended up going with the 90s.
Sure.
The picket elbows, 7-inch, and they're Dynamaflex. And my buddy John Peterson, he polished all the wheels on it with his machine.
Awesome.
And I'm good polishing. I polished the other tank.
Okay.
But I'm pretty good at polishing. I watched a bunch on Evan's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. I picked up over the years with my 90 doing it myself, but the sanding part of it, I learned a lot. Just sanding, how you can use your regular 3,500 watt or 3,500 RPM orbital buffer.
Yeah.
And kind of go over it with that, but yeah, just the sanding part of it. But yeah, it's takes a lot of
great job.
Takes a lot of time just to get good at it.
It really does. Yep. And to keep it maintained too, because you know that's the thing. You might get it looking great, and then 3 weeks later, then you're back to having to do something on it again. You know,
especially in the wintertime with all the chloride they put on the roads. It's you know. And then with the end dumping, if you're in the gravel, like Kramer's stains, you get that on there, and it stains big time. So
Yep.
I've always learned from islands. You just roll in slow, first gear, down the hill, down the bottom hill, and you got a line of trucks behind you, but
hey, yep.
You know, you're the one that's got to take care of that truck.
That's right. That's right. Well, why don't you walk us around the truck a little bit, and you can point out some of the things. We were talking about the shifters and the transmission earlier, and tell me what you did there.
I did a homemade twin stick. You know, I've never drove one before. I've always wanted to learn, but I always like. I'm trying to keep it kind of old school. This 93, trying to keep everything in the vintage of the 93. So
absolutely,
they had twin stick back then, but it's just the old splitter.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And you were telling me that you made that yourself. You didn't buy the kit.
It's homemade, just an old T-handle pull handle, and I just got some ready rod and made a couple pieces of bent angle irons and welded them together. And
that's really cool. I love it, man. Yeah, way to go.
Did the floor myself. I've actually had wood floor in all my trucks. It's easy.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys have them aluminum one-piece ones, but this is easy. If you get a blemish, you can pull back out, and if you got spares, you can put a new piece in or whatever. But
yeah, exactly.
I painted the interior black. It was all this gray color, and it's they used to smoke, so it's kind of stained.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I haven't finished that one yet, but I did a whole custom dash.
Wow.
Did all the dash panels myself. Added more gauges. Put the old school defrost fans in it.
Yeah. Love it.
Just trying to keep it that vintage. Early 90s look to it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you're definitely pulling it off, man. That's awesome.
I got these are the 12 gauge strapless breather kits.
Yeah.
It's just a cleaner look with no straps.
For sure. Yep.
I got them from Nick Kimball down there at AmCan Truck Parts.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I try to get
those guys.
Majority of my stuff from them. I mean, they're pretty good guys to work with.
Yeah, for sure. Is that where you got your boxes?
No, them I got from a guy in Zimbrota. Zach Grove. Yep. He sells that and the bumper. So that's a stainless bumper I got from him, and these boxes came from him.
That's awesome. I was admiring that bumper earlier. I was like, ooh, that's pretty slick.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep. Otherwise, majority of it's kind of still original. The original paint, you can kind of still see the guy's name. And
absolutely.
You know, he was from Welch. I think his boy had it for a while. It was a father-son deal. The son had it for a while, which is from Welch. And then the funny part is I actually work with the guy.
Is that right?
He runs our blade doing our township roads because, you know, the excavating company we work for, we do 3 townships.
Sure.
And so he runs the blade, so I've been texting him pictures and showing it. And
I bet he digs what you're doing, you know? Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of cool. We got his name in it. I tried to maybe get you to kind of freshen up the old pinstripes.
Sure. Yeah, we can make that happen.
But it used to have a black stripe through it. And you kind of see the line that it used to be.
Okay, yep.
And I don't know. I'm not kind of a fan of that, just one stripe.
Sure.
So I went all flat black. And I painted it all myself. Just a rattle can.
Hey, that's cool. That's how I roll.
Zebra stripes in it, but
it's all right. You know what? Yeah.
It looks good going down the road.
Exactly.
You know, people, you'll see going down the road, they're like, oh, look at that truck, and they won't see the runs in it. You know, there's runs. But
hey, that's all right. I admire guys like you that are doing the work yourself, and you know, you're just making it how you like and what you think is cool.
Yep.
Keeping that theme, that 90s vibe to it, and you're putting thought into what you're doing.
Yep.
You're not just gluing cheap plastic junk to your truck. I mean, you're actually putting...
going through the basically the Sears catalog for Chrome.
Right, exactly. No, I love it.
But I got an RLK visor on it. That's the flat bottom Ultra.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's Chase's visor.
Yep. Chase builds awesome visors. I have one of his too. I love it.
He's a hell of a nice guy. I've been down to his shop a few times.
Have you? Oh, cool. Nice guy. I need to do that someday too.
Got the cab lights from him.
Okay.
They were actually the die cast with the glass lenses up there, so they're actually
It's chromed cast?
Yep.
Whoa, man. Yep. That's awesome.
So, you know, that's kind of what the vintage back then was.
Oh, yeah.
So I did that, and I got that chrome. This is actually a chrome grill. It ain't stainless.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
This is actually a chrome grill. I got that from Nick at AmCan.
That's beautiful. I love the bug guard, too.
The bug shield I just got this week, and my buddy in California, Dane Nelson, he actually started building these things, and they've kind of taken off.
Yeah, I believe
He's got on his white and green truck, and
man, I was thinking about having to try and make one myself, but if somebody else is making one, I might have to pick one up from him.
He's on Facebook, so you just message him, find him, Dane Nelson, and he'll make you one. He's actually making them for the side of the doors for your vent windows.
Oh yeah, right up there, like the smoker window deal up there. Okay,
but they have to go in the front of the door, so
Oh, that's awesome. So Dane Nelson, shout out to him. Yeah.
And I got the headlights. It used to have the 7-inch round ones.
Yep.
And I like the old school double rounds.
Yep, I do too. I'm a quad guy myself. I like the 4. That's
got the blinkers in the headlights, so I got no other blinker on there. So the center deal is actually amber.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's my blinker.
That's your blinker. All right. And this is a running light? Okay,
yep.
clearance. Yeah.
It's just a clearance light.
Love it.
And all glass lenses on here.
Very, very cool.
LED bulbs. They're super bright.
Heck yeah. What would you say so far is your favorite thing on the truck that you've done?
My dash.
Your dash. Awesome.
Yep. So.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Yep. Every panel made myself. Drilled all the holes. You know, there's a lot you can do with a jigsaw and a hole saw.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the jigsaw and the hole saw, and measured everything out. Kind of just use a Sharpie. Yeah. Draw the lines, and then once I got the lines drew out for my gauges, then I use just a regular center punch.
Perfect.
And punch it all out and drill it out. And
use plastic panel, or what did you use? What's the material?
This is 1/8 inch aluminum.
Oh, okay, it's aluminum.
Yep.
And then you painted it, or had it? Okay.
I sanded it all down and painted it all myself too. Actually, when it's laid and flat, you can paint it really good.
Yeah.
You got no runs. So you can paint it really good when it's flat. But
love it.
Yeah, that's I think my favorite part is the dash.
Very, very cool. Nice job, man. I love that you're doing it yourself. Just as, you know, little by little as you go.
Yep.
And
yeah,
you were
had it about a year now. So
yeah.
Just every weekend do a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, sometimes I get busy at work and I can't get to it, but
sure.
Put a nice chrome air dryer from Dan Dirks.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I got a lot of stuff from Dirks.
Very cool.
Video. Yep.
Yeah.
The door latches, the door hinges, all these polished door hinges.
Yeah.
Every door's got brand new hardware. Door latches, the striker pins, the window regulators, felt strips, all came from Dan's.
So it's going to be nice and tight and quiet when it's done.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
The bunk I don't have. I bought the bunk and there's no interior in it, so I got
Yep.
kind of going through different ideas of what to do. With the bunk.
Yep.
Got hardwood floors in the bunk here.
Oh, you do? Wow, that's cool.
And it goes all the way through.
Yeah.
And my mom actually made this cushion.
Is that right?
So my bed I cut out, so now I can actually stand up inside of this thing.
Oh, I gotta show that too. That's really cool.
So I did. So if you're doing some parades, you can actually get probably 4 to 6 people back there.
Yeah.
And they can just sit on the bed, and it's a nice cushion. But so yeah, my mom made this cushion all.
That is an awesome idea.
All by scratch.
Very, very cool. Way to go, Mom. That's super awesome.
And this fuel tank, I put this on. I polished that all myself, so I'm pretty good at polishing.
Heck yeah. We're both students of Evan.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Love it.
That air ride kit I got from Dan's also.
Okay.
That's actually for a 63-inch 359 bunk.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it bolts in your stock 359 holes.
Right. Okay.
There actually was a 63 on this truck originally.
Oh, okay.
And these were the holes for the 63.
Sure.
And I think the kid, Gary's boy, ended up putting the 36 on. That's why the holes are here.
Gotcha.
So I didn't have to drill any holes in it.
It was ready to go. Just get the kit, put it in. That's awesome.
Yep. And it used to have a wet kit on it. This tank was split.
Okay.
So it was a 150, 100 gallons of fuel, 50 of oil, and I just use this truck to pull my camper around, just a little toy to play around with.
Sure.
So I don't need a wet kit. So it still has all the fittings on it. You know, this is your trailers, emergency, your supply. You know, and then you got your tailgate, your lift axle, your air gauge.
Right.
You know, you got all the stuff that you need for your end dump. And then it's actually 2 lines, so you can actually pull a detached trailer or a walk-in floor.
Yeah.
So you got your return line, but I took all that out. The hoses, the hydraulic hoses are still there, but I took everything else off. All the airlines are all taken off.
Gotcha. I need to put couplers like this on mine because my truck's sitting right next to you here.
Yep.
I got all these hoses that I got to do something with, and I hate it. So I need to do that same kind of deal.
That's
smart.
All you got to do is just quick connect, and you can actually just keep all this stuff on your trailer.
Yeah. See, I would love to do that. Yep. We all have future plans for what we're going to be working on next.
Yep.
Other than finishing the interior in the truck, what other plans do you have for it then?
I like to get a wide axle. So that way it can turn sharper, because this has still got the standard axle on it.
Sure.
And I might, 90 didn't bag it, but I'd like to get a little bit lower.
Yeah.
You know, if I de-arch the springs or whatever, I could get a little bit lower, but air is, it's cool when you can drop it on the ground.
For sure.
And I like to put airliner on the back.
Okay, airliner.
This rides really hard.
Yep.
It rides rough.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of people go on the low leafs.
Sure.
But they're so expensive.
Yeah.
You can get the airliner for half the price, and you can get disc brakes.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
If you do run the road with an airliner, you can stop at any truck stop because it's a mass.
Bingo.
You know, all the big companies got them.
Bingo.
You know, all your fleets.
Yeah.
So you can get parts out on the road all the time.
Love it. See, the more guys I talk to that do this kind of truck work, they're doing the work themselves. They're not purists saying, no, it's all going to be only Peterbilt, you know, or only CAT or whatever. You mix and match. You find what works, and then you go with that. And you're putting thought into it. That's super smart.
And these fenders were on it when I bought it, so it's got some holes.
For sure.
But there was paint missing on it, so I sanded that and I repainted it, so it's all matte finish.
Yeah.
And I took the fifth wheel off. The fifth wheel was bad. It was actually welded. The slider was actually welded because the teeth, the old teeth wore out so much that they just welded it, and the welds are broke. So I took it off, and you see the corrosion from the years of driving. But for being a '93, the frame ain't even that bad. You know, from here forward, there's no cancer spots.
For being in the Midwest, if it's just a little bit flaky, that's not that bad. So eventually you'll probably sandblast it and paint it and stuff like that.
And actually, it was originally red, and you kind of see a little bit of the red in it. So I kind of maybe might go back to a Viper red color on the frame or something.
Very cool. Very cool.
So I put the stationary fifth wheel on it because, I just pull my camper with it.
Right. Yeah.
And I got the angle iron on here is too light to actually pull a trailer. It's actually 1/4 inch. So to actually pull a trailer, big trailer with it, I have to get either 3/8, 5/16 or 3/8 angle iron. So I'm pretty much committed. Like I can't work. I can't work it because my fifth wheel can't stand it. So.
There you go. There you go. It'll keep you to your promise, right?
And I got my T-canes. These actually were on my L model.
Oh, okay.
These things are so expensive nowadays. They're actually like 200, almost $300 a piece.
Oh,
so when I bought these, they were 185. Back then it's like, 185. I don't know if I can spend that, but I just like how it cleans all the studs up.
Absolutely.
When you wash your rims and even polish them by hand, you don't get all the lug nuts to go around. And
exactly.
Just 4 little set screws, you just pull them off. But these have been on. This is the 3rd truck that these T-cans. Actually, the 4th truck. So when I sold my truck, I actually kind of customized all the work trucks at work.
Okay.
So the one truck I drove a T800 dump truck with a 3 push racks with a quint.
Yep.
And it's just a stock dash. And I like fancy. It's your office,
Right.
So you like to add some little chrome and some bling. So I added that. Well, I started driving the shit pumper.
Okay. Yep.
Well, I suppose you can't see that on the
No, it's all right. No big deal.
I'm running this pumper, and it's at the time it's a nice truck. It is a nice truck. But I wanted to make it look cool, so I actually put glass lenses on it, down the side, across the back. I put RLK flap weights across the back.
Nice.
I added one in the center, and I actually put these T-canes on it.
Awesome.
And it looked pretty cool. There's a couple posts on my Instagram of, if you got a good coat of wax on it, even though you're flying down the gravel road, the dust wouldn't stick to these things.
Nice.
The rim is just coated in dust, but the T-canes still look nice.
Awesome. You're convincing me. Now I want some.
You look at yours, your rims are pretty nice, but you got to hand polish in around all these lug nuts.
Exactly. It's way more time consuming.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you. That's the way to go.
And I got this rear light bar from my buddy, Terry Housen.
Awesome.
Yeah, he had one he had an old Freightliner project he was working on, and he ended up selling it.
Okay.
And he bought 2 of these. He had 2 of these, so he gave me this one. I actually was going to put it on my brother's International. My brother had International for a while.
Yeah.
Then I polished up, and then he ended up selling it because I bought this. And he goes, "Well, I don't need 2 trucks." So I put this on here, and it's a pile of glass lenses back here.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
I put the little the bumper pull hitch on it in case I ever pull a bumper pull hitch.
Sure.
Or my old man's got a dump trailer.
There you go.
So I can pull it with this.
Yep.
And I got you got your 7 flat because you can't pull your regular campers with your 7 round for your semi, so you got to convert it all over.
Gotta do that. Yep.
I basically ran wires off my taillights.
Oh, there you go.
To run my camper.
Sure. Yep. That's awesome. Can you take us under the hood? You were telling me about your engine earlier.
So in March I went out to California.
Yeah.
And with my camper, the toy hauler. So I threw my Harley in the back, and I had a nice vacation out there.
Awesome.
And on the way out there, I get over to Eagleville, Missouri.
Okay.
And the front of the fenders are just coated in oil. So I crawl underneath there, and it's just oil's running everywhere. So I actually brought some that, like, it's not pig mat, but it's the same kind of oil absorbent pads.
Yeah.
I brought that with in the camper because I knew it leaked oil, but I didn't know how much.
Sure.
So I ended up stopping at the Love's, the next exit down, just south of Scale.
Okay.
And I wrapped some bungee cords from the top of the frame rails down underneath the motor, and I stuffed.
Just catch it.
Yeah, so because I'm a neat freak. I like my shit to look nice, and
for sure.
So when you got oil slabbering all over everything, it doesn't look very nice. So I got that. I got them. I call them diapers.
Yeah.
So I got the diaper, and every day I change them, and it worked great.
Sure.
Until I got a fuel leak. And so I thought it was a fuel line.
Okay.
Well, it turns out it was the pump was leaking.
Oh shoot.
I gotta open it from the other side because it's weird.
No problem. Look at that.
So it started leaking on the back of the pump here. Fuel was coming out here. My cat buddy that lives in town, really good friend of mine. I mean, he's rebuilt my black truck motor.
Awesome.
And I've known him for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So I call him. I says, hey, I got fuel running out the back of the pump. And he says, there's no fuel back there. So this is all oil back here. The front half is fuel, back half is oil. I said, I don't know what's coming back in the back. So I thought it was maybe one of the lines. So I got these fuel lines also from Dirk's.
Sure.
And I like how you don't have to paint them. They stay shiny even if you wash them. They don't rust. Like if you go to Cat, they get the steel ones.
Yeah.
You got to paint them or they rust.
Right. Yep. Are these stainless or
I think they are.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So on the way out to California, it's leaking fuel and it's leaking oil, and I get out there and I still had my vacation and I still had to work on it because I was out there and the starter died. So I threw the old starter on the Harley and rode it 3 blocks. No, it was actually 3 blocks. It was probably 3 miles to their Rush. I think it was the Rush City Peterbilt down over there. And I got a starter, and it wasn't. I had the gear reduction on it, but then they sold me the old-fashioned heavy,
the big monster,
heavy. So
on your Harley.
Yep.
So you got to strap that down somehow or put it between your legs.
Yeah. And I got a bagger, so.
Okay. All right.
I just threw between, and I got a razor trunk on it.
Gotcha.
So at least it won't slide off the back.
Right.
Yeah, I had to strap it down there. So I had to change the starter out there. But yeah, I put on about 2,000 miles on the Harley out there. It was a good time. I went up the coast.
Awesome.
The PCH, the Pacific Coast Highway. It was a great time.
Sounds like a great
trip. It was
Okay.
cold. Every morning got up over 40 degrees, so you had to wear your Harleys and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
But then on the way back, I'm running with my buddy Ron Beer.
You know Ron Beer?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
A good buddy of mine.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, let's go to Louisville. Because I took the whole month off, and we left a week early because he had trade shows on for Dynaflex, 10-4 magazine.
Yep.
You know, he had 4 guys on here. He had that the guys that make the Lugna covers, Roll On. Roll On Lugna covers.
Okay. Yep.
And so he had all their booths on. So he's like, just roll with me. I said, okay, yeah, let's go.
Cool.
So we get rolling back, and every morning, you know, like ritual, I got to change the oil of the diapers.
Oh man.
And we get to Oklahoma City, and all of a sudden the RPM just starts fluctuating.
Ooh.
You know, I'm not even touching; it just starts fluctuating. I'm like, what's going on with this thing?
So it's like starving for fuel or something.
Oh, it's like somebody's putting their foot on the throttle. It's just revving up.
Gotcha.
You know, it ain't going down.
It's not going down. Okay,
it's going up.
Revving up. Oh wow.
So I'm like, So we end up going over to Joplin and hanging out at Tweener's for a night.
Okay.
Brian Pershing and Tony Huntenstein, they're all there. So we
cool guys. Yeah.
I met Kyle for the first time, and then they got some top-notch equipment. I mean, you could just drool for days. I'm walking a lot, just drooling all over the stuff that they got.
Yeah.
So it's acting up even worse.
Sure.
So I was telling Ron, I says, I don't know. I better not go to Louisville. I said, it sucks because I really was looking forward to going. But I said, I just better head home because I don't want to get all the way over there and then have to get a wrecker to pull me home because with my old L model, I've got burned out on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Blew a head gasket.
Sure.
And I was actually in Joplin Peterbilt. It was a bad situation.
Yeah.
Nobody knows it was an old mechanical N14.
Okay, yeah.
It was an old mechanical, and nobody knew how to work on them. It was I think it was 2014 when that thing went. So nobody knew how to work on the thing.
Yeah.
And I was there for a week and a half and spent about as much money as it would have cost to do a complete freaking in-frame. And so I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Get the thing home. Whatever. Put it on a wrecker, put it on a little bit, just get the thing home. So
there you go. Yep.
When I'm at Joplin, I go to Ron. I say, I'm just gonna head home.
Okay.
So I get heading home that Friday night, and I get to Kansas City,
Okay.
And all of a sudden now it's revved up to 1500.
Ooh.
And it won't come down.
Oh man.
So I call my buddy Kenny and I says, hey, this thing is acting really weird. And he goes, I think the governor is out on the fuel pump.
Okay. Yeah.
So he said, just get it home and we'll worry about it then. So okay. So trying to get the RPM when it's like you're driving a 10-speed, you got to drop the RPM down to about 1100.
Well, yeah.
You know, RPM.
That can't be easy to try and shift that.
I had to shift with the Jakes.
Oh
so
man.
I had to be like the rookie and throw the Jake brake on and to get to come down to grab it in gear. Oh, it was bad. So I get home and my buddy Kenny, he says, works at CAT. He says, I'm not trying to spend your money, but he goes, when we got the fuel pump off, it'd be really easy to fix your front cover because that's what was leaking all the oil. The front cover, the front seal is the worst. So he goes, with all that off, it's really easy to get at that. So I said, might as well do it. So I yanked the hood off it. I yanked the radiator, air to air. I cleaned, I did all that stuff myself, and I pulled the, he come over and we got the fuel pump off.
Yeah.
And I brought that into Diesel Components in Burnsville, and they went through it for me.
Awesome.
And I pulled all the front cover off, and I can do some things mechanically. I'm pretty good at. My dad was a mechanic at John Deere for almost 40 years, so I know some mechanical skills.
For sure.
But as soon as I pull that front cover off and I see all these gears, and I'm like, okay, I better just leave it alone.
Yeah.
I better wait for Kenny to come over, and then he can, because I don't want to pull a gear off and it's not timed.
Yeah.
I remember when we had to pull the pump off, you had to make sure the pump was timed.
Sure.
So that way when we put it back in, everything was.
It's a Swiss watch in there. You don't want. Yeah.
So I got it to the gears, and then he come over and kind of took over, and we pulled it. We didn't pull the cam gear off. We just kind of slid the cam out to get this back plate off.
Sure.
And we resealed all that. And
awesome.
And it was down for 3 months. It was tore apart for 3 months. So while I was doing that, I sanded all my air-to-air tubes down, polished all those up. I polished the cast aluminum air intake. I polished that all up myself.
Man.
This here is another Chase RLK.
Yep.
Which he does not make anymore.
Oh, okay.
Because my ex-father-in-law, he wanted one for his truck, and I called all around. I even called Chase, and he's like, I haven't made them things in years. So I called Nick over at Amcan. I said, hey, does 12 gauge or Pickett or does somebody make these things? He goes, well, by chance, I actually have 2 of Chase's sitting on the shelf.
Bingo.
So I actually Snapchatted the Chase, and I said, hey, I got 2. He goes, awesome. No, NOS, new old stock. New old stock. So.
That's awesome. Love it.
But yeah, so the whole paint job's all rattle canned. Went to CAT, and I got their primer because he says you can just spray your top coat on it, but he says you'd be using a lot more. Just put a lot of primer and then go over it with your top coat.
Sure.
And he's right. I used a lot of primer and only used like 3 cans of top coat.
Wow, that's awesome.
Resealed the pan. Put all new temperature gauges in the pan. I went through the motor mounts, radiator mounts. Actually, it's a funny story with the radiator.
Yeah.
So I wasn't planning on redoing the radiator.
Okay.
But I bought a new AC condenser, and this system was for an R12. So you don't need the big fan, your big huge AC condenser. You just need this. It looks just like a tranny cooler.
Yeah, just a real small thing. Yeah.
So I bought a Northern, and it was wider than my factory one. So I had to drill the holes. Well, instead of just taking the plates off and drilling the holes, I drilled it with it, mounted it up. So my dad, he drilled one hole first to 5/16.
Okay.
Well, then I tried to get my hand back there to put the nut on it, and I couldn't get my fingers back there. So I'm like, well, I got a nut-zerk gun. I'll just put nut-zerk on it and then put it on that way.
There you go.
So I had to drill the hole up bigger. Well, I used my brand new drill bit, and as soon as I got drilling, the drill bit made burrs on the end of the metal, and the drill bit walked, and it walked it right into the radiator.
I was gonna say, I know where this is going.
Walked it right in the radiator. Luckily, Kenny says before we put the brand new coolant in it, let's fill it with water and make sure we got no leaks.
Yeah, yeah.
So luckily we put water in it, and luckily just water's running the ground. But yeah, there's another $1,200 that I didn't really want to spend, but now it's got a new radiator. And the fan shroud was half busted off, so that I had to pay $1,500. I should have got aftermarket, but that fan shroud from Peterbilt, $1,500.
Ouch.
But,
man. Yeah. Well, it looks like you're doing it right, though. I mean, each step of the way, you're doing it correctly, and you're going above and beyond. I mean, you know, so.
And I, if I do work it, I wanted it fixed right. So if I was out on the road, I knew what I had. You know, some of them guys they just want to you got drop the liner. Somebody's gonna pull a head gasket off, and they're gonna replace just
Yeah.
one liner. Well, you're right there. Why not
Yeah.
just do the rest of them? The head's off.
Yep.
You got to drop the pan and do the one.
Yeah.
What's an extra $1,000 or $2,000 and
Right.
have the whole works done? You
Right.
know, I figured it's peace of mind.
Right. And you know what you got, and
Yep.
none of this stuff goes down in value. I mean,
Yep.
you know, your truck is going to stay.
I'm hoping.
Well, you're right. Yeah,
I'm hoping.
it should. Yeah.
But yeah, so basically from here, everything has got all new lines, fuel lines,
Awesome.
air lines. You know, all the aero equip for. I gotta change that fitting yet,
Sure.
but I gotta go with a 90 in it. Just
Oh,
it's
right.
cool.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's how it was when I took it off. So I figured I'd replace it how it was.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
well, every airline got replaced, every coolant tube got replaced, every hose clamp, all
Man.
brand new hose clamps.
Love
You
it.
know, I don't want to leave nothing untouched.
Yeah. Well, obviously you've done a fantastic job, man. My hat's off to you. This is really fun to see this build.
Oh,
I dig it.
It's kind of a lot of people have addictions, you know, like drug addictions, alcohol. This is my addiction. It's
That's awesome.
and it's also my happy place. I just like
Attaboy.
I like tinkering with this thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing where you got to work it, and then
Sure.
you're trying to tinker it,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you don't get it back together, and you're under load. You're like, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this here being it's just my toy.
That's
just to
awesome.
pull my camper around so I can
Yeah.
tear it apart and it can sit for a couple weeks and it's no big deal.
There you go. You don't have to make sure it's ready for Monday, get to work because it's got to make money again
Yep.
and stuff like that. There's no
Yep.
pressure on it. Yeah, it can just.
You know, and like addictions, it's an expensive habit, and this is an expensive habit.
Yes.
You know.
Yep. Very cool.
So I do got to polish my turbo.
Ooh, yeah, we're gonna see
I
that.
haven't done it yet. I got to.
Okay, all right. That's on the to-do list.
Yep. So
Okay,
you know,
yep.
a lot of guys they're polishing their intake tube and they're polishing the cold side. So
Yeah.
that's on the agenda yet.
Gotcha. Very, very cool.
Radiator, alternator.
Yep.
Put a new alternator on it, and then my dad. So I put the AC condenser up there, the pump,
Yeah.
and he's looking at it. He goes, "You got all this shiny paint and a brand new alternator, but you're gonna put that old shitty looking
Yep.
compressor up there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess you do got a point." So I
Yeah.
did have to paint that black so it looked nice and fancy.
Yeah. Hey.
And I put nice cat stickers up on the top.
Ooh,
you know.
yeah. It's
Them-
the details that really
Yep.
make the difference.
Got them
sometimes.
stickers at Casson
Oh, did ya?
from Roadskins.
Heck yeah. I don't know if that's gonna show up, but I'll try.
You know, and actually all the stickers that's on here, all the Peterbilt emblems,
Yeah.
these are actually Roadskin stickers.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
the backing it was falling off, so I
Sure.
used a little Bondo to fill in the divot.
There you go.
And then stuck Roadskin's Peterbilt emblem on the front and on the side, and even the ones on the WTI fenders back there.
That's awesome.
Them,
That's a great idea.
Them are actually for a cab over.
Is that right?
The big,
the big
emblem,
one. Yeah.
them are for a cab over.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I just a guy posted on the Facebook there and asking why I didn't paint the whole thing flat black. You know, everybody knows that one guy that always paints his flat black.
Yeah.
I mean, he has some cool trucks.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
And I don't know, I kind of like this old. I dig
do
this
too.
old. I kind of
Yeah.
wish it was all that color.
Yeah.
Because there's actually some flake in it.
Sure.
There's some flake in it,
Yeah.
but
Yep. I like what you're doing. It's unique. It's entirely you. You know, and so many times I've told guys like your truck is a reflection on you, your personality, your
Yep.
style, all that stuff, and this truck is becoming you.
and being that the paint is from 1993, it's hard to replicate.
Yeah.
You know, you can go to your Napa and they can use that light, and but it doesn't have the years of sun fading on it.
That's right.
So to get the bunk to get that paint, I didn't paint it. This is all vinyl.
Is it really?
This is actually vinyl.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
Yep, guy named Kenny Jordan from South St. Paul there. He
Boy, he did a great job.
I mean,
Getting
yeah.
around every one of those rivets and everything.
he bid it, and all of a sudden I brought over to my cousin's house in the wintertime. This is actually December. We did rod and mains in it in the bottom end before my trip to California.
Okay.
So I'm like, I want to make sure this thing don't die on the way. So
Yeah.
we did rod and mains. So I called up Kenny and said, hey, it's gonna be in a nice warm shop because I don't have no heated shop at home.
Sure. Okay.
So-
you're doing all this in a cold shop in the
Yeah.
wintertime?
Yeah, there's
Whoa.
a couple of my Snapchats. I'm changing the fittings out. It's 5 below out.
Oh man.
I did all the dash panels I actually did.
Oh.
And when it's really cold, the airlines do not want to work for greatest.
Oh,
and even
geez.
the wiring.
Man.
So I took the dash panels off, then go downstairs in the basement and
Yeah.
mark them all out and drill them all out, and then go in the garage where it's cold out and drill the holes quick, then go back
Oh.
downstairs, sand it all, paint it all, and 2 days later,
Man.
yep.
This
So-
reminds me of earlier you and I were talking about Twin Stick Garage
Oh, yeah.
before he built his shop up in Canada.
I mean, he's a true diehard.
Yes.
To do all that, I'm glad he's got a shop now to do all that.
Me too.
But I mean, there's some videos
Yeah.
that I watched him with his little by little project.
Yeah,
And he's out there snowing and he's working that thing.
Right?
I don't know. Mine at least was indoors. My dad's
Okay.
got, I actually bought my folks' place here this fall.
Oh, okay.
So it's got 5 acres and it's got a 44 by 88 pole shed, but it's
Sure.
got 13-foot sidewalls, dirt floor.
Gotcha.
So I wish I could have went with 14-foot stacks
Okay.
or 13.6, but
Well,
I had to
hey.
keep it under 13 to get it in the shed.
Sure. Yeah. Hey.
So yeah, Kenny
But-
came and did the vinyl on it, and there's
That's
a
awesome.
few spots back here that were peeling.
Oh,
and
sure.
That day he left, he says, "Whoever put this black, because the whole bunk was painted before I bought it,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and it was actually peeling. The paint, they didn't sand it good enough, so the paint
Oh.
was." You pull the sticker out, the vinyl off, and the paint was coming off the factory paint.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I just used some silicone. I just
Yeah.
pull the thing back, use some silicone, and stick it up there, so
Yeah.
you can see a piece missing. You can actually see the factory color of the bunk.
Hey. It's all right. It's part of the personality of the whole truck.
But
you
yeah,
know?
so
Yeah.
when he got doing it, he goes, "Man, I bet this thing's too cheap." I says, I can't believe it's that cheap. That's why I had to do it, because
Yeah.
to go around the hinges, the doors, I mean, to go around all the hucks,
Yeah.
that's a big job.
That is a
And
big
he
job.
was there, I think,
Yeah.
4 hours
Oof.
to do all that, and
Man. Wow.
yeah, it's a big job.
Yep. For sure.
So I actually thought, well, maybe vinyl the whole front so it matched, but I don't know, after looking at it and then seeing it back in the daylight,
Yeah.
I liked the old school.
Yeah. Hey. That's all right.
Like, it's maybe some more pinstriping, because yeah, they got some of them smaller ones, but maybe I was at Butterfield last weekend at truck show.
Yeah.
Butterfield.
Yeah.
And one guy had his whole deck plate done.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
was cool.
That's
That's
cool.
another project too. Is I want a flush mount deck plate.
Nice. Yeah.
And I want to go the whole width, but that's 11 feet from the back of the cab to the front
Yeah.
of the fifth wheel is 11 feet. So
Awesome.
I'll have to work a little harder overtime this summer to afford that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe just getting some plywood, but there was a model I saw at Butterfield.
Mm-hmm.
That Norm, a lot of people know Norm.
Yeah.
That old short hood A model.
Yes.
He's got plywood, or not plywood. He's actually got 2x8s or 2x. I think it's 2x8s or 2x6s for his deck plate.
Sure. Yeah.
That you got to
Hey.
stain and keep up on.
It's like a
and-
deck. Yeah.
Yep. I'd rather just get a nice piece of aluminum and
Sure.
flush mount it, or
Yeah.
even get that Merritt's. I see a lot of guys
Yeah.
doing that Merritt.
Mm-hmm. You bet.
Be nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. Very cool. Well, man, thank you for taking the time to show us your truck,
Yeah,
man. This
thank
thing
you.
is super cool, and it's
Yeah,
great to
well-
get to know you better too, because I know we've seen each other a number of times running
Yep.
around up in the cities.
Yep,
But
yep.
Yeah.
Us
Very
end
cool.
dumpers, we got to stick together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you again.
Thank you.